Oh, buddy. Oh, I see an issue. I don't like issues on my screen. That worked. Yeah. I don't know how or why. Better question why, but whatever. It's alright. I believe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe it is. Jesus. Oh wow, it really is. Chopping at the bit there, isn't it? There we go. Looks good. Alright. Oh, this son of a bastard. Oh, I have to redo it every time. Oh, that's silly. Bruh, what are we doing? Okay. Alright. So it's Kurz and we are still on the same thing. I think I have like 3 hours left to try to do it. Ever so slightly seem to be getting closer and closer to being able to do it, but in the grand scheme of things, I honestly don't know. I hope doing this isn't gonna... Alright, good. So, I'm OP every day. He's like the main grand summoner YouTuber there is out there. I take good inspiration from him. I take inspiration, I guess, from his videos. For a lot of my information, I go to him, so I'd recommend doing that as well. Gonna pop up some information on the left-hand side, right over there. That way, just kidding. Over there. Check your screen over there, and you'll be able to see on the very bottom left, got a little video about some new equips that are in the mines, which we'll do after. We'll do some mines after we try to beat floor 21.
Today, I'm deciding to go through every single mines equip and rank them on a tier list from must-have to F-tier to show you all what mines equips are worth getting and what isn't. By the way, I also asked all of you guys if you would rather have this tier list or a unit mines tier list, and it seems like you guys were pretty split on it. You know, a lot of you guys wanted this and a lot of you guys wanted the unit mines tier list, so let me know down below if you guys still want that unit mines tier list, and I probably will still do it. Oh, and by the way, this is actually going to cover all of the mines equips, even the ones on JP that we do not have yet. And how I'm going to be looking at each of these equips and putting them on a tier list, at least in my head, I may not thoroughly explain it like this every single time. It's going to be in terms of usability, viability, and also niche. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. First, we have the Inferno Dragons equip, which is going to be the 4-star magic. If I'm going to be honest here, this thing belongs in pretty much F tier. There's other good burn equips that we have if you are needing a burn item that doesn't have a negative like reducing your own defense. However, I could see an argument for putting this in D tier, because if you do need a burn, then this one could be justified as being a little bit better since it does give you 10% crit rate, but I would much rather prefer that to be 10% crit damage or just 10% damage while the enemy is burning or something along those lines. And yeah, overall, I just think the Crimson Blade could definitely be a lot better than what it is. Next is going to be the 5-star magic, which is currently in JP but not in global. And this one's passive is that it has burn time reduction and burn evasion rate 10% up. And as you can skill, you're able to reduce enemy's fire resistance by 70% and you reduce our items fire damage by 30%. This one's like a really good positive with like a I don't really know how to feel about this one. I think you could make this be really solid if you're able to buff up your damage enough to where the fire damage minus 30% doesn't really matter too much. But this one I would say could have a little bit more gimmicky viability, so I'm gonna put it in D tier. Next is gonna be the girl Palamecia. Now Palamecia has the 4-star support Dignified Silence. Dignified Silence when it first came out was really good because there wasn't too many characters in the game that had the 50 art gauge to all characters or 30 art gauge, 40 art gauge. You know how we are nowadays. So I think right now I would put this in C tier. It's a solid nuking support item if you don't have solid nuke supporters, I guess. But if you have solid nuke supporters, you probably won't be looking at Dignified Silence at all. Now, one thing you will be looking at though is the 5-star support from Omega Palamecia. Omega Palamecia gives you Silent Treasure, which is one of the best Archgen items in the entire game. This thing belongs in must-have. This is an amazing equip. It has one negative, which is consuming everybody's HP, which does kind of suck, but it's only 15%. You can easily heal that back up if you're running a sustain comp. In nuking, it doesn't really matter too much, but if you're using someone like Draken, then I guess it kind of matters a little bit. But 15% really isn't too bad in exchange for 35 arc gauge and 30% crit damage to the whole team on top of an attack level 2 passive. That's 3 positives and only 1 negative. And overall, Silent Treasure is just insanely good. If you get this item, you're going to be using it non-stop. Next, we got the Emerald Birds 4-star healing item. This thing is just garbage. I'm going to put this in like F tier. Now, we also have the 5-star heal item. This comes from the Omega Emerald Bird, which is currently on JP, which has a passive healing your own HP by 4 per second, and this will heal the target's HP by 2500, and in 15 seconds you increase the target's HP recovery amount by 100%, and you reduce the target's damage by 50%. This maybe has some viability somewhere. I'm thinking possibly throwing this on like a taunt tank, but I'm just gonna be honest with you. It doesn't really matter how much healing I feel like you give a character. If a character's gonna die to a boss attack, especially like an in-game boss, they're just dead. Like, I don't think you can really save them, to be honest. So because of this, I'm putting this in D tier. It's alright, you know what I mean, but not the best. Next, we got Odious. Regular Odious will have a chance to drop you the 4-star support. This item, not really that great. Skill CT isn't really that valued. There are some characters that really value equipment CT, and whenever that comes around, you could probably find other items that are just overall better than this item. You really never want to increase your equipment CT recovery at all because, let's be honest here, equips are really good in Grand Summoners, and having longer equipment cooldowns just really ain't it. Now, as for Omega Odious though, this thing will give you the 5-star support Sealed Earrings. Now, the way how you use this item is that you can either throw it on yourself and you'll just cancel out the negative from it, or you throw it on somebody else for the 30% stats and also the 5 arc gauge per second for 20 seconds on them. Now this item, if you're using it as an art gauge item, really isn't too great, since if you're looking for a single target Archon item, you could just use something like Lesser Demon Heart, which is a grindable, free-to-play item you can get by just fighting the Vows and Death giant boss, and that thing has a significantly shorter cooldown than this item, and yeah, it's just a lot better. This item isn't good even as a single target Archon item. I don't really like it at all, especially with a 180-second cooldown. Who thought that was okay? So because of that, I'm putting it in F tier. Just bad, not good at all. Next, we have Subject B3, and this one is a big one. Subject B3 will be able to drop you the Hatred Claws known as Grief, or also known as B3 Claw. This is one of the best 4-star physicals in the entire game. Not even one of the best 4-star physical in the entire game. Its passive is you reduce maximum HP by 15%, but its skill you consume 25% of your current HP, then for 10 seconds you increase your own attack by 30% and art gauge by 2 per second. The reason why this item is so sought after is because this skill is actually up 24/7 if you have it at max LB. Yes, you heard me right, it has 100% uptime because its cooldown is only 10 seconds. Granted, you're using 25% of your own max HP every 10 seconds, so that is a negative, but you're mostly using this in sustained comps anyway, so you're probably going to be having a healer of some kind, and because of that, it's one of the best items in the game for anybody that has a 4-star physical. Now, unfortunately, as for the next thing, we have the Omega B3 fight, which gives us the 5-star B3 Claw. 5-star B3 Claw isn't nowhere near as good as regular B3 Claw. I think there's definitely some comps out there, some sustained comps where you would use the Shrieking Claws just to stack a ton of physical resist, but if you just want to use somebody that can stack physical resist, if you have them, you could use someone like Draken. Draken does this, and you don't have to worry about consuming your own HP every 10 seconds. I'm gonna put it in C tier. Now, next we have the Radiant Dragon. The Radiant Dragon drops a 4-star magic known as the Dragon Gauntlet. So yeah, you reduce the boss's status element resist by 20% and your own status element resist by 20%. I don't really see a use in it apart from using this maybe on some status effect characters, but even then, I mean, probably those status effect characters you're using have some type of burn resist down or poison resist down in their kit already, because most of them do, if they do evolve around some type of status element heavily. Next, we got the girl Redacne. Redacne actually drops a 4-star support that is able to consume 50% of your own max HP, and then for 10 seconds you increase all allies crit rate by 120%. This item here may come off as just bad, but I'm gonna put this item actually in B tier. The reason for this is because Divine Arachnid's Blood is a 4-star support that's actually able to be used on auto. It's kind of the extent of it. Just the fact that you're able to use this and it works on auto. Of course, I think this is kind of fallen off, especially in JP, because now they have the AI system, which will allow you to just use any 4-star support item on the new auto, even including stuff like Terra's Conjunction, which previously didn't work on auto. Well, it worked, but it worked at the wrong time. It didn't pop it as soon as you got into the quest. Next, we have Redacne's Omega Fight, which will be able to drop you the 5-star variant, which is actually known as Divine Arachnid Tears. This item's a troll item. It's not good. Clearly, you're gonna use this on somebody in multiplayer and watch them die instantly. So yeah, it's an F tier item. It's not good. Next, we got the girl Radis. Radis is gonna be giving you a 4-star heal that is able to heal everybody's HP by 30%, and then you would decrease all ally status resistance by 50%. If you want a heal item that just does something similar to this, you could look at something like the 4-star heal from CTB, or you could look at something like the 4-star heal that is known as Flower King. I mean, it's a little bit weaker, but it does the same amount of things without reducing everybody's status resist. So yeah, D tier. Next, we have Omega Radis, which Omega Radis has a 5-star heal that is able to reduce your own max HP by 5% as a passive, but its skill is that you heal a target's HP by 100%, and each time the equipped is used, the magnitude of the heal is reduced by 30%. I don't like this item. So yeah, I'm putting this in F tier. I don't think this is good. Next boss we're looking at is Code Eraser. Eraser has a 4-star defense known as the Arda Core, which reduces your damage taken by 40% and then increases all allies' damage taken by 40% for 10 seconds. The way how this equip works is that one buff activates, then the debuff activates. So the Arda Core at first glance may seem completely terrible, and it's like, what's the point? This equip contradicts itself. It goes from being really good to being absolutely terrible. And the thinking behind this equip is meant to be used to survive nukes, and especially survive nukes if you are nuking that boss. Thanks for an example, Eraser himself. The way how it would work is you would nuke Eraser, and then Eraser would do his nuke, and then you could pop the Arda Core, and you'll probably now be able to survive Eraser's end nuke as before, all your units would have died. And that's mainly what it's used for. It's a very niche item and you only see it in like that kind of context, and because of that I'm gonna put it in C tier. Next thing we have Omega Eraser, which is able to give you the Abyss Core. This is a 5-star defense. This one a little bit too conditional to activate in my opinion. I'm putting it in F tier. Next we got the boy Garm. Garm gives you a 4-star physical that's completely correct. I don't know who thought of this one, and I also don't know why Grand Summoners loves 4-star physicals, in the mines at least. This thing's skill doesn't do anything, but its passive though is insane. You reduce your own break power by 100%, but you increase your physical damage by 25%. This is a pretty sizable buff for a 4-star physical, and I'm gonna put it in A tier. It's gonna be our first A tier item because I don't really think it's a must-have, but if you get it, you can definitely run this on anybody that has a 4-star physical, like in your nukes or anything. I know a lot of people run this on their Greys because yeah, it's just really good. Next we have Omega Garm, which gives you a 5-star physical that's able to increase your fire damage by 50% passively, and then for 60 seconds at the start of the quest you reduce your own stats by 50%, and then it has a skill of 5,500. Increasing your own fire damage by 50% is really good, but reducing your own stats by 50% isn't good. So this one in my opinion is D tier. So we have Yugetsu. Yugetsu gives a 4-star magic known as the Blaze Guard. I use this in my nukes. If I'm doing a nuke and I have access to multiple 4-star magics, I'm probably going to be running the Blaze Guard in one of them. I'm going to put it in B tier though, because it's really only used in nukes and nowhere else. Now as for Omega Yugetsu, you'll be able to get the 5-star variant of the Blaze Guard, which is known as the Hellflame Guard. Its stacking capabilities is good, but its resistance down that it's inflicting is a little bit too low for me. Only 6%, that's pretty bad. Because of this, I'm gonna just put it in F tier. I don't think you can really get much use out of this equip. Next we have the Plant Boss himself. If you wind up beating his regular version, he can give you the 4-star magic known as Starving Root. This has a 50% chance of poisoning the enemy, and you increase damage taken by 20% for 20 seconds, and it has a passive that reduces your max HP by 5%. As a 4-star magic, I think it's one of the only poison equips in the game. So I mean, I guess there is that, but if you just need a poison equip, there are other poison equips in the game that are really good, like for example the 4-star physical, which is the secret equip from I think the plant boss in the story, that you could just use that. Of course it's not a 4-star magic, but it is a 4-star physical. I'll just say this is like a C tier item. If you fight the Omega plant boss, you can get something known as the Spare Vine, which is quite possibly one of the other items in this game that I will say is a must-have for any earth damage dealer that has a 5-star magic slot, especially if they're a nuker. I use this on literally any earth nuker in the game that has a 5-star magic. It is insanely good. Even with its negative costing 50 art gauge, you don't see it. The reason why you don't see it is because you wait and pop the Spare Vine when you use your true art. Because you're using a true art, well, it doesn't matter it's costing 50 art gauge now because you're already doing a true art. I think this is a must-have item for anybody that loves nuking with earth units and they have a 5-star magic. Deadmaster. Use this on him if you get it, and I guarantee you're going to see some insane damage numbers. Next, we have the newest addition to Global, which is actually Geo Zagnus. And he gives you a 4-star physical that's pretty solid. This costs 3% of your max HP, and you increase damage and water damage by 20% for 10 seconds. Really good if you have someone like Gray. This is one of the characters that I think this would be used on the most. I'm putting it in A tier. Really good item. I just don't think there's a lot of nukers in the game or attackers in the game that has a 4-star physical that are water units. In the future, as the game gets older and we get more and more attackers and nukers, one of them is bound to have a 4-star physical. If you fight the Omega version of this fight, you're able to get the 5-star variant of this, which has a passive where you increase your own water damage by 50%, and then for 50 seconds at the start of the quest, you consume your max HP by 5% per second. So this one is a little bit different from the other passives that we've seen so far. Give you a really good bonus and then a pretty bad negative. This one, I can say that if you can clear the quest fast enough, it's not that bad. I'm gonna say this is a B tier item. Actually, yeah, you know what? We'll put it at C tier. Now, I don't know how I did this, but I think I missed Ifrit talking about all the global bosses. So let's talk about Ifrit's 4-star defense equip. This is a single target barrier. There's a 4-star defense. It's F tier. 4-star defenses, you're probably gonna be using something that just gives you AoE damage resist, or something that gives you like attack as like a passive, like for example, Dola armor. Now, if you fight the Omega variant of Ifrit, you can get the 5-star defense. And yeah, this one also F tier. Completely garbage. Like, not good at all. And that's actually it for all of the global bosses in the game at the moment. The next ones that we're going to be talking about are all going to be from the JP version, so strap in and let's get to it. This boy will give you a 4-star defense that's able to increase your skill CT recovery passively by 5%. You increase all allies magic res by 20%, and you reduce allies physical res by 20%.
Why?
To be honest, this equip is a B tier equip in my opinion. It's pretty solid because if you are fighting any boss that is just a magic damage boss and they don't have any type of physical attacks in their kit, then you kind of just don't even have to worry about the negative. Now, if you fight the Omega Vows and Death, you will get the 5-star defense that has a 35-second cooldown. This increases your defense by 10% passively, and this will increase all allies physical res by 35%, but you reduce all allies attack by 70%. Anything that's reducing my damage is a no-go for me. So because of this, I'm putting this in F tier. Now next we have Belgaris, which is the wolf, the earth doggo that you have to poison. But this thing was able to give you a 4-star magic. Its passive is still time reduction and still evasion rate 10% up. Its skill is you increase your own accuracy rate by 30% and you reduce your own damage by 20%. Increasing your own accuracy is pretty good, but there's other ways for you to get 30% accuracy without reducing your damage by 20%. So
like
yeah,
what in
not
the
a great
actual
item. I'm putting this in D tier. Next we have the 5-star magic.
What in the
if you fight
actual
the
noggin
Omega
am I
variant of this
supposed to
boss,
do?
if you want 100% crit
What
rate, you
fuck
can just
is
use
going
100%
on with the
crit rate
mic?
buff item or a crit buffer on your team and get it easier than this.
my
I
mic,
don't like
like,
this
being
equip. I'm
dumb?
putting it in F tier. Next we have the 4-star defense from the Fredo boss. This is good if a boss will only crit you, and I'm gonna put it in D tier. Not that great, but okay at best.
Oh,
Now,
I
if you
need
like the
that
Omega
right
variant
now.
of this boss, this thing will be on a 55-second cooldown. It gives you blind time reduction and blind evasion rate 20% up. Its skill is to reduce all allies attack by 50% and you reduce all allies damage taken by 80% for the next 3 hits. Reducing everybody's attack by 50%, you guys know how I feel about this? Yeah, it's not that great. D tier item. It does have some use, but 50% attack down is a yikes from me. I'm not going to say this boss's name because I have no idea how to say it. But this thing will drop a 4-star physical with a 35-second cooldown. You increase earth res by 5%, and its skill is you reduce your own arc gauge by 10. And then for 10 seconds, you increase your own damage to weak element enemies by 30%. So this is a 4-star physical with an actual pretty good item. This is pretty much the same thing as Despair Vine, and I'll put it in A tier. Now, if you fight the Omega variant of this boss, this thing will give you a 5-star physical on a 40-second cooldown that gives you poison time reduction and poison evasion rate 10% up. And its skill will be you reduce all allies arc gauge by 20, and then for 10 seconds, you increase all allies earth damage by 40%. Now, this will be a little bit hard to pull off, but this is pretty much just like Despair Vine and its 4-star counterpart. If you're able to use everybody's true arts first, and then you pop this item, everybody just gets a free 40% earth damage to everyone. I'm gonna say this is a B tier item just because it's gonna be a little bit harder for you to do this, but if you can get it off consistently, then it's definitely an A tier item, but I'm just gonna say B tier. Next we have Wilkes. Wilkes' equips are questionable. The first thing she has is a 4-star physical with a 9-second cooldown. Its passive is skill CT recovery 5% up, and its skill is an 11,000, but you faint yourself for 5 seconds. This is an F tier item. If you fight the Omega Wilkes, you have a chance to get the 5-star physical, which has a passive increasing your attack by 10%, and then its skill is for 20 seconds you increase your own arc gauge by 3 and physical damage by 30%. Oh, by the way, you faint yourself for 5 seconds. This is also just an F tier item, in my opinion. I mean, I can see some people argue this is good in like sustained comps because you get 20 seconds of arc gauge and physical damage 30%. So because of that, you know what, we'll put it in D tier, but the fainting your own self, you probably don't want to faint yourself for 5 seconds. And now we move on to the final equip of the mines in JP, at least to my knowledge, which is going to be dropped from the boy Rags. Rags is a mine boss now in the Japanese version, and he's able to give you a 4-star physical. Its passive is you increase your own defense by 5%, and then its skill is that it consumes 30% of your own max HP, and then for 10 seconds you increase your own damage and dark damage by 20%. This is an A tier item. Anything that's increasing my own damage and some type of elemental damage is really good. And there you go. That is the entire video and every single equip rated on a tier list. And well, you know what? What are you doing? You didn't watch this whole video. Yeah, I know you didn't. You didn't go through and watch me explain every single one of them. And now you think I'm going to show you the entire tier list. What are you? You think I don't play the same game with other YouTubers? Do you really think that I'm going to show you the entire tier list? You know, I need the watch time. I got a family to feed. Christmas is just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta buy Christmas presents.
And you would go to the end of this video to just see the tier list and screenshot it and leave. You're discussing with yourself. You can't believe that I became this walking hammer. And I bet you really want that tier list, right? You're probably scrubbing along in the video right now, seeing what I'll do. Like, where's this tier list? Why is this guy keep talking to me? You really want it that bad, don't you? Oh man, but I'm a tease.
If you guys want to see more tier lists like this, of course, let me know down below in the comment section what else you guys would like to see in the game. This was pretty fun to make, and I like doing these videos. They're a little bit longer than usual, but you know, I get to go in depth with pretty much every single thing that I talk about. And oh yeah, please let me know down below in the comment section if you think any of these equips should be rated higher or lower. If you enjoyed this video, highly recommend check out either one of the videos popping on your screen right now. Great content, guarantee you'll love. And oh yeah, before you leave, don't forget to drink water.
The last game you'll ever play, the most ambitious MMO known to mankind. Created by two Silicon Valley tech bros with already millions in funding who still set up a Kickstarter which dug one of the wildest rabbit holes I've ever seen. We've got child moderators, fake engagement rings, massive security issues, and laughably bad development. Trust me, this will all make sense in this video. This is what went wrong with Dreamworld. Spoilers, pretty much everything. And I'm Wicked Wiz, being a man of my word and standing on someone's desk. Oh, look at that. It appears to be a famous YouTuber Callum Upton's desk. Wow, it actually looks pretty clean. I mean, there's a bit of Gamer Crust here and there, but massive thanks to my...
That one was close. What the?
Today, I'm deciding I just can't believe this. Shaman King is returning. Even though, yes, we just got the announcement on the Japanese version of the game that ReZero was coming back, but now we have Shaman King on global to talk about. And I'm gonna say it right now, my thoughts with this is it's just why? Why bring this back already? Shaman King was here a little bit over a year ago, and I don't think that this should have been the crossover to return out of like all the crossovers, especially since they're doing this whole thing where it's like, oh, Global doesn't have the 6-star equipment, meaning that we can't get the ReZero crossover that's coming to JP. So if that's the case, then Global will just get Shaman King. But why bring back Shaman King when there's so many other crossovers you could pick from that people have been wanting? Either way, that's all I want to say. Just wanted to get that off my chest. And now I'm going to show you the buffs. Now, the buffs have actually been stated not on Discord or anywhere else at least yet. It is currently dropped on the Grand Summoners YouTube channel on their YouTube video talking about the crossover returning. And the buffs, from what I've seen so far, are very minuscule, like super abysmal. As you see here with the boy Yo, he gets increased damage by 25%, and then every time your skill is used, it now goes to 125% instead of 100%. And his art got buffed up to 25,000. Let me not even talk about it. Nope, get into the next one. Following that, we have Anna. Anna definitely needs some work, but they didn't give her any. Just arts, 1,600 true arts, 40,000 earth units damage up 60%. Oh, and by the way, skill buff 2. that's a badge. You gotta look at that one. Skill buff 2. And what about Tao Rin, right? Tao Rin needed some love and care. I feel like this character wasn't used ever since he dropped. No one used this character. So let's see what he gets. You know, his skill now gives him 50 art gauge at max. I don't know, what does his skill even do? Hold on. Oh, his skill gives him art gauge by 20, and then if you're unafflicted by status elements, you get 40 art gauge instead, so now you get 50. I mean, I guess that's solid, right? I mean, you get a base of 25 no matter what now, and then you get 50 not inflicted by something. That's solid. His arts and everything else kind of got buffed a decent amount as well. 300% now in terms of the amount of damage that he can stack up, which is also really good. 300% is usually the sweet spot for a lot of characters. To be honest, without me even seeing his true art, I don't know if his true art did get buffed on top of it. I highly doubt it because his true art was already really good. I wouldn't say really good. It was a decent true art because it increases your attack based on the amount of dark units in your party. I would say he might have the best buff, but we have the big name himself, the big boy for the last one, Hao. What did Hao get? I'm gonna be interested to see. There ain't no way this is real. 20,000 on the art, and the true art got a 20-second buff. But guess what, boys? Skill buff 2. God damn. This is really what we're living in, bro. We're living in a timeline where we're getting all these characters again whenever we didn't even need to get them again. Like, there's so many other buffs that they could have gave these characters, and it actually makes no sense to me. I feel like we should have a lot more buffs to these characters than what we are getting. Like, for example, with Anna. Anna was a character that I personally really liked using, but I think she needs more than just the 50% earth damage up. Why not give her like 80 or 100 instead of 50? You know what I mean? I mean, maybe that would be too good, but hey, screw it. You know what I'm saying? What's balance in Grand Summoners anymore? Also, the boy Yo got shafted too. Like, what? He only gets 125% damage, and then he gets a buffed up art. Like, I mean, he didn't really need a buff, but it's just so weird. This crossover comes off as just very rushed, like a last minute decision that definitely doesn't seem like it was planned or thought out. Another reason why I'm kind of led on to believe this is because the way that they constructed the video for announcing Shaman King was returning. Usually whenever we get rerun videos or, you know, a crossover announcement video, they don't usually show off the buffs that the characters get in that video. Each character usually has their own individual video because the buffs are pretty massive, and, you know, they really want to highlight the difference between, you know, then and now. But since they combined everything pretty much in just one video, it's like, why? Why are we getting this again? And what's the point? I guess this is a really good thing for people who have missed Shaman King before, but is it really that big of a deal? No one from this crossover is necessarily a meta breaking unit. I guess the best one from this entire thing was possibly Yo for a lot of people. I would say that it's a mix between Yo and Hao. Even then, you know, you don't see Yo and Hao in every single team comp. You rarely ever see Hao nowadays, I feel like, unless you're doing a fire nuke or you're using some type of burn strategy or you're using Hao for his debuffs. Since Hao's damage really isn't that great anymore. Yo, you still see quite a bit because of his physical damage and everything else, but then we had Draken come out. People just use Draken instead for a lot of things. The only thing that can really save this rerun for me at this point is if these characters are 120 luck. Because if this is a rerun that just has these semi-buffed units, I don't even want to call them buff because their buffs just aren't that impactful. Like I said before, the most impactful one is probably Tao Rin's. If we don't have that 120 luck grind and we don't have where we can get these units up to max luck, it's going to be a very dead period for everybody who played during the first time it coming around. And I unfortunately fear that that might be the case, but who knows? It's still early on. We don't have all the information yet. It's possible that we get new equips as well coming alongside Shaman King. It's possible we get other stuff alongside them. Who knows? Either way, I'm massively disappointed in Shaman King returning. Tell me down below what you guys are thinking. Are you guys hyped for it? Are you guys happy? Are you guys hoping these guys become 120 luck units? You know, let me know all that down below in the comment section. And also, when this video goes live, I might be live streaming today or I might not be. It just depends. If we don't live stream today, we'll definitely be live streaming on Monday. But if you guys enjoyed this video, highly recommend you check out either one of the videos popping up on my screen right now. Great content, guarantee you'll love them, especially the Dokkan video we posted yesterday. That video was pretty painful to make, but I still had a lot of fun making it, and I think overall it's probably one of my better summon videos on the channel. And oh yeah, before you leave, don't forget to drink water. Yes, you saw the title of the video and you saw the thumbnail. We are finally doing it. We are back on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. We only ever come around to this part of the woods when a few things happen. One, whenever a crazy celebration is going on. or some of my favorite characters get added. And this time around, not really a celebration going on, so to speak, but there is something extremely hype here, and that is Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 has been added to the global side of the game. Yes, you heard me right, the characters straight out of Dragon Ball Super Superhero. God, that's a mouthful. Your boy watched the movie. I am a Dragon Ball fan, even though I don't post too much Dokkan on the channel. And I will tell you right now, it is definitely top 3 Dragon Ball movies of all time for me. And even though I wasn't really too attached to Gamma 1 or Gamma 2, I still thought they were really cool characters. So I thought, why not, since they just came out in Dokkan, let's see if we can walk away with one or both, or with nothing. Hopefully not nothing. Let's be honest here. I've been taking too many L's as of recently on this channel. So I haven't played Dokkan in quite a bit, so I don't actually know who's all on this banner. I don't even know. The Mines, quite possibly the best game mode in the entire game. You get tons of rewards like crystals, rainbow gems, and LB stones. You get to use units you don't own yourself because of the friend system. By the way, this should really be in every solo piece of content. You also get to grind for some of the best equips the entire game has to offer. I'm talking about some real fan favorites here, like B3 Claw, Despair Vine, and so much more. Really, the only 2 negatives I can think of for this game mode is 1, the drop rates for equips are abysmal, and to devs tend to forget this game mode even exist, at least on the global side of the game. JP gets mines like every other month. Global, we don't get mines for like 7 to 8 months. But since it's finally returned to global, I get to answer a question I have been having for quite some time, which revolves around the boss character some of you may know of, some of you may love, and some of you may hate, which is Groitz. And it's pretty much, is Groitz actually good in mines? And to be more specific, is he one of the best in mines? Some of you that are new may not know that there are some MVPs when it comes to the mines. Units like Haruto, Mako, Juno, Sistina, Baptiste, and one of the biggest ones out there, Joker Celia, aka the queen of the mines. Or should I say, the jester of the mines.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And it just so happens that the man Groitz shares a lot of similarities to that of Joker Celia. The biggest one being that they are both status scaling damage dealers. Joker Celia gains more damage based on how many enemies she has frozen during the quest, whereas Groitz gains more damage based on the number of enemies he has poisoned during the quest. On most of the content in the game, this mechanic is actually pretty bad, since status effects are so inconsistent when it comes to the metagame of Grand Summoners, and there's usually not enough instances for you to max out their damage. These guys take 10 stacks of poison or 10 stacks of freeze in order to capitalize on their damage, which maxes out at 300%. Since the mine revolves around each level having a few different stages in them, it means that these characters get to shine a lot more. There's a lot of enemies in these stages. That translates to you being able to freeze a lot more or poison a lot more, which then translates into you getting even more damage. So it would seem the man Groitz would be a top tier mines unit, right? I mean, he's literally just like Joker Celia. He has all the boxes checked off. High damaging multipliers on his attacks. He's also a boss character, which just allows him to have access to even more damage. And his slots aren't that bad. So he's good, right? This character is a huge disappointment when it comes to the mines, which is weird since this should be the game mode he excels at. Don't get me wrong, this man can do some serious damage, like some astronomical levels of damage. But what you have to do to get there really isn't worth it half the time. As mentioned before, you have to poison enemies in order for you to keep scaling your damage, which sounds simple enough, except Groitz kinda sucks at this. Even though this character's entire gimmick is poison, he only has 2 attacks in his whole kit that allows him to do it. One of them being his skill in his human form that has a 50% chance to poison, and his other being his skill in his boss form, which has a 100% chance to poison. Since his poison is tied to his skills, that means this isn't as spammable as you might think, especially since his skill is on an 11-second cooldown. So unless you're running skill CT, you can't really have this up all the time, as if this was an art like how it is with Joker Celia. Now this isn't that bad because in the mines you do a lot of stage transitioning. Every single time you do stage transition, you refresh your cooldowns on your skills. But this causes another issue to arise. If you are wasting time stage transitioning and you're wasting time using your skill in your human form to get poisons off, well, you forgot about the other part of this character, which is his revelation form, aka his boss form. Not only does he need to be in his boss form if we want him to hit his hardest, we need him to get his Mega Art charged as well, which requires us to use his skill in his boss forms in order for him to do it. Don't use his Mega Skill though. His Mega Skill doesn't contribute to his Mega Art, which is so stupid, but yeah, Mega Skill doesn't do it, but his 3 skills that take up his equipment slots do it. That's the case, why not just rush into the boss form and then spam his poison skill so we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, one being constantly able to poison and the other being able to charge up his Mega Art. I mean, that seems logical, but the problem is his poison skill has an even longer cooldown at 18 seconds, and these skills don't get refreshed during each stage transition. This is where this unit completely fails me, since in order for me to get the most out of him, I need to poison, but in order for me to use his spammable poison skill, I need to kind of stay in his human form, since it is the fastest and it also has the lowest cooldown. But if I do this, it means I have a possibility of losing out on the Mega Art, which then means it's a possibility that I fail the quest because I won't have enough damage. So now I have to make a decision. Is it worth to go for more poison, or should I just say screw the extra damage and rush for the Mega Art so I can at least deal some solid burst damage? Now I already know what some of you guys are going to say. OP, why not throw poison equips onto him? That way he'll have more chances to poison, meaning that you can get more stacks faster. That is a pretty good idea. However, Grand Summoners said no. They decided to make Groitz a balanced unit. The only way Groitz is able to stack poison is if the unit himself poisons. And this just makes no sense to me. The more and more I use Groitz, the more and more I realize and I can confidently say his kit wasn't too well thought out. And he would probably be a better unit overall if he just didn't have this boss form. Joker Celia pretty much has the same exact philosophy behind her, and she works great, able to constantly spam her art that allows you to freeze the enemy, on top of also giving your team arts. And guess what? When you're ready to do your burst damage, you don't have to go into a boss form and then build up art gauge in a different way than any other part of the game. No siree, you just have to press your true art button. No extra effort needed, no extra time wasted. Just go into your true art and you're gonna deal some insane damage. Literally, Joker Celia by herself with her stacking and everything else, she is so consistent that she is able to wipe out bosses by herself on some of the highest floors in the mines. Oh, and not to mention too, her true art is technically more versatile and better in a team than Groitz's Mega Art. Groitz's Mega Art just increases the damage the enemy takes by 50%, while Joker Celia reduces the enemy's water, freeze, and crit resist. So yeah, she's enabling your team to do a lot more than that of just Groitz. So now we're here. Unfortunately, Groitz takes a little too much work for me. If I didn't have to work as hard to get this unit going, I would probably like him. And if he was a little faster, cause good lord, this guy's animations take actual years to come out, I would probably like him, and I would say that he would be a better Mines unit. But until we get an animation buff to this guy or something else, I would just say he's not really worth it. Is he necessarily bad? Not really. I think he still has potential to do a ton of damage, and if you want to go through the effort of actually poisoning the enemy, getting up into your Mega Art, and hopefully being able to survive long enough in these high level boss stages in the mines so you can actually nuke the boss, he will probably do a lot for you. And because of that, I would say he's still a solid unit for most people in the mines if you have him. But at the same time, if you can just use Joker Celia, just use her instead. So guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you all for coming out. Tell me down below what you guys think about Groitz. You guys think I'm going a little bit too hard on him? Do you guys think that he's fine just like he is? Or do you think he needs some type of buff to help him really be able to push these high level mines floors? You guys already heard my opinion. I'd love to hear y'all's opinion down below in the comment section. But thank you all again for coming out. It's been your boy P, and last but not least, don't forget to drink water. Do I dare try this again? Natsu just disappointed me last time, so I don't know if I want to use him again. You know who's not going to disappoint me though? Actually, he might. No, he won't. He won't. He is going to disappoint me. The one and only Firewing. Now this is what we're here for, chat. This guy, crazy. Ryuko? Maybe.
I guess we could try Rico as well. I don't even know, what does his art do? Nothing? Reduce the enemy's fire resist and increase on arc gauge by 50. Oh, yeah, I forgot. He's very self-sufficient. He's kind of like a solo unit, almost. Well, I know there's a lot of people who have soloed with Fireroy, like some of like the hardest stages in the game, because with his skill, he actually is completely immune to damage. If you time it right, you can do a lot. I won't deny, I would be expecting a little bit more damage from the Manfiroid. Just a tiny bit. Not too much more, but I would say, you know. Let me see, how much damage is this? I mean, I guess it's alright, but maybe whenever, what's his name, actually does deeps, oh Jesus Christ, it does hit a little bit harder. Or whenever he burns, Natsu burns, it feels like he's doing a little bit more damage. I mean, it's still decent. It's decent damage. I didn't mean to do that, though. Maybe I did. Never mind. No Priscilla or Hal? You think that I have Priscilla? That's crazy. 5.8 million, though. I mean, that's good. Good damage from the Manfiroid. People really think, though, that I got Priscilla? What do y'all think? I am a whale? I'm a free-to-play player, man. I've been free-to-play for, like, 2 months at this point. What fight is this? Yugetsu? Fireroar and Hal works too? Yeah, I guess I could try Fireroar and Hal next time. Wait, I could just nuke Yugetsu. Do I still have the team on? Oh, I do. Look at that. Yeah, I can just nuke Yugetsu with this team. This should work. Also, chat, what did I tell you guys? We've been streaming for 2 hours at this point, and we haven't got a single equip yet. Granted, we are really low in the floors, but no equip. I can't say I'm surprised. I'm going to say that now, and then watch on this floor right here, we're going to get another Yugetsu equip. I'm calling it right now. Which is an equip that, you know, no one doesn't, you don't need multiple of these, man. Let's see, though. Also, does this kill? It should kill. Yeah. Never mind. Never mind. I shouldn't have said anything and we would have got it. What's up, Disappointment? How you doing, man? What floor should you start using your baits on? Oh, you're talking about your lures? I would say try to go as high as you can. And once it starts becoming too difficult, then drop down like 5 floors. And then start using your lures on that floor. This is another Palamecia. Because most people say, like, don't start farming, I think, till floor 40 or floor 35 for the most part. But, I would say screw that. Just go as high as you can, because the higher you are, the better the drop rates. So I guess I do go Juno here. Did I go Juno last time? I think I did. Yeah. Farm at floor 300, yeah, and take like 5 minutes per run. You know, Ash is actually pretty pog in mines because of the AoE blind that he does. Definitely helps out against some of the mobs. I say that, then we all get paralyzed. Yeah, the AoE blind is definitely nice. If I see one more Nuka with no gear on my friends list, I swear. Yeah, I wish people wouldn't just put whoever on there and no equips. Because I'm tired of seeing it too, man. Like, if I know who you are, hey, you gotta be careful, bro. Because I'm coming for you. But then again, you know, I would rather see one of those than see Carter's Garo. If you guys know Carter in my Discord, and you have him on your friends list, you know that he has a Garo as his friend unit right now. And it's not good. It's not good at all. Like, I'm surprised how well this works. Like, I think I would rather do this than actually Paralyzer. But too bad the damage resist isn't enough on like Omega Palamecia. You pretty much have to use the Paralyze tactic. I love when I see some of my favorite units in the mines ungeared. Yeah, it's tough. I hate too whenever I see a unit that I want to use, and then, yeah, they have no gear. Or the gear they have is just complete trash. Also, thanks so much for the sub, Carlos. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Here's another Yugetsu. Let's see what happens on this one. I could use Irie here as well, but do we have a Joker Celio? Man, what the f— are you serious? No Joker Celio. Ain't that something? Well, I guess I could use the Irie. It should still work. I don't know if it'll work as well, though. It should. Yeah, it should be fine. Use 2B? Chat, you got... Dude, it's not gonna be good, though, chat. She's not gonna do any damage, man. Shit, I'm gonna die, though, before I even get there. So, maybe I should have used 2B, but... next time, chat, if we get Yugetsu again, we'll use 2B. Yeah, there's no damage, man. No damage. Also, has anything else came out for the ReZero thing? Like what the new equips do? I don't think so, right? I shouldn't do this. Okay, never mind. It's fine. Let me see. Maybe it'll be enough? Open? Oh yeah, that's definitely enough. God, she's so good. Let me see. Yeah, there's nothing new that came out yet. I want to know what the new equips do. I want to know if there's any Pog ones, any good ones, you know. Hopefully this time on ReZero I don't get a Ram again. Also, chat, that's another question. How do you feel about the whole, or not how do you feel, but do you think we're going to get another guaranteed crossover ticket or no? Because I'm saying no. I don't think we are. Okay, look, we're actually going against Garm here, so we will use 2B. But also, by the way, I didn't even check the results on this. You guys put this like an hour ago, my bad. But I just completely forgot about it. You guys didn't remind me, maybe some of you did. But yeah, you guys said that Emperor will have a pity, and 32% said no. So, I mean, it's 50-50, you know what I mean? It's 50-50. If he'll have a pity or not. We'll see. Wait, can she crit? I don't think so, right? Wait, does she crit? What does she do? It's only doing her true art, or her phantom bullet. Yeah, her phantom bullet. That's right, that's right. That's right, chat room. My bad, Gingo. What's the art do? Oh, evasion and accuracy. Okay. I mean, the art's not actually too bad for mines, to be honest. I kind of want these to get into his true art. There we go. Now I'll pop that. Also, she gives art gauge too, right? Yeah. What? Is she type B? She is type B, isn't she? That's tough. Yama P said not today. Hey man, I'm holding out hope. I really am. Alright, let's see. Come on, Phantom Bullet Priscilla, show me the damage. This is gonna take you like 6 years for it to come out. It's enough for me to go into Mako's true art, then her art. I mean, it was a decent amount. Why does she only have one though? That's the part that gets me. Why is it only one? Also, did it even crit? I don't even think I saw the crit. Or maybe it did crit, I just wasn't paying attention. I feel like it just hit normal. It did crit? I just expected it to instantly die, I guess. Still a lot of damage though. Dealt another 450k blow. I mean, I feel like if she had more damage buffs in her kit, she would be really good. But the fact that she doesn't just sucks. Let's see. 6.3 million though. She still hit hard. It just didn't feel like she hit hard. That's the difference. It just didn't feel that impactful. 3 more levels to go, chat, and we hit our goal for the stream. Get into floor 40. Oh, Palamecia again. I need to see what the Japanese players use. Like the ones that grind all the way up to like floor 200 or whatever every single time. I need to see what they use on like high level Palamecia. Because maybe they're using stuff that I don't know about. That would make this a lot simpler. Do I dare use Irie? Shit. Do I dare use... If we get the Paralyze, Irie will one-shot. But if I don't get the Paralyze, I get one-shotted. Screw it. You only live once, chat. You only live once. Emperor and Norm probably? Yeah, yeah, Maybe. Does Emperor deal more damage to Palamecia? I think so, right? Palamecia is considered a god, I'm pretty sure. Oh, thanks for the $5 no-no, Christian. Have you tried Groitz yet in the mines? Also, if you need a Joker Celia, Brett, I have one. Appreciate you, Christian. If you're on my friends list, I probably already used you, but I have used them a little bit. I actually have a video coming out in the next few days about me using them in the mines. So we'll see how it goes, you know. I mean, like I said, it's 50-50 with me. I kind of like them. I kind of don't. I'm very mixed opinions on them. Also, I didn't get the paralyzed. That's not good. No, I got the paralyzed, but she doesn't have her true art. God dang it. We screwed up. We screwed up big time, boys. Oh, Haruto actually didn't get frozen. That's crazy. No paralyze again, man. I need that true Griffin to come through for me. No paralyze again? Oh my god, Mako, not Mako. Norn, you're killing me here. I should probably use Norn's skill too, though. I let her skill. I didn't mean to pop that. And then use her art. Let's see, does that work? Hey, there we go. That should be enough now. There we go. Yeah, next time I'll just do that, because her freaking, God, dude, her paralysis resist gets so high the higher you go. But I hate waiting for Norn's skill. It takes like 6 years to come out, bro. So long. Oh, you don't have me added? I see. I would say, have you sent me a friend request before, Tristan, or not? Because if you have, then it's probably jumbled up somewhere in here, along with all the others. So I have to go through and see about it. Also, I haven't even cleaned out my friends list in a while, and I probably should do that, because yeah, some of these guys haven't played in forever, like Bori, but I can't get rid of Bori. Can't get rid of Rail, that's the homie. I don't know who Cook is, I'm sorry. I'll get rid of you. Who else? 74 days. I don't know no Pierre. Who else? Futon? Adam? If this is the Adam in the Discord, I'm not gonna get rid of him. I don't know who Hunter is. I'm assuming that's what that is supposed to mean. Anybody else? Plastic? Can't get rid of that homie Plastic. Griffith? I don't know who that is. Oh, Founder, FGT. But these guys only been offline for like a week. I'll keep them. So yeah, if you want to send me a friend request real quick, there's my ID. If you guys want to send it. And then I'll accept you guys after the stream. Or actually at the end of the stream, I'll just go through. Oh no, yeah, I'll do it after the stream. Yeah. These guys watching you delete them right now. Hey man, they ain't been on the game in a long time, man. They ain't been on the game. I'm taking it away in 3, 2, 1. I got the 1 week rule. That's my rule. If you're offline for 1 week, then I'm gonna get rid of you. Redacting? What does Redacting do, chat? Is it just high defense? Like how she usually is? Or is it different?